Welcome to Gentle Yoga. This is Leo Ray on behalf of Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. Visit us online at urbanyoga.org or on Facebook at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. Check out the schedule, changes every month, and stop by the tip jar to make donations to support our online classes. We'll start out today sitting or kneeling in whatever way is comfortable for you. Feel into your contact with the ground. Close your eyes if you like. Bring your attention to your breath. Not directing it, not trying to make it change. Just noticing it generally invites slower, deeper breathing. But if that doesn't happen for you, it's okay. Just notice whatever does happen. It's the state of inquiry that's important. The questions, always more important than the answers. Take a few moments to notice all the circumstances of your practice. What's going on around you, the external stuff, whatever is there to be noticed. And what's going on internally. No need to banish or wish away any thoughts or feelings that are present. Scan your physical body, notice what's going on there. Again, not seeking in this moment to change anything. Just like an inventory, what's up with each part, each section of the body. Especially noting those well-known, beloved trouble spots. We can keep them in mind as we go, remembering as always that you can skip or modify any part of the practice I do. Sometimes I won't even do the posture or movement I'm describing. I'll do something else. Lots of choices along the way, so we can each make the practice our own. And in addition to some physical areas we talked about before we officially started the class today, I'm going to focus on grounding as like an energetic theme for the class. So before we start to work into some bigger movements, we'll do a little bit with Mudra, which is a hand gesture, and Mantra, which is just a phrase that we repeat. So the mudra is called the Bhu Mudra. That's B-H-U, if you're interested in how things are spelled, not Bhu like B-O-O like a ghost. And you make what we call peace fingers with your hands, pointing the index and middle fingers while folding the other fingers, and then rest those fingertips on the ground. And you decide, does it feel better for you to just let the fingertips rest lightly, or to add some pressure? Which grounding sensation suits you? There's something about this shape in the hands and this contact of the fingertips that brings more grounding overall. And then the mantra, there's a phrase that can be used with this mudra. Of course, you can use the phrase anytime during the day without doing the mudra. And you can change the wording of the phrase to suit you. Maybe what I'm going to say seems like a long or clunky sentence, or you just don't like some of the wording. Change it as you like. Something you'll say to help you focus on grounding. The one I learned and generally use goes like this. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. And you can say it in your head silently or say it out loud or lip sync if you want. I'm going to say the version of it that I used out loud a few more times. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. And maybe you picture roots growing down from your fingertips or some sort of light seeping down into the ground. Whatever your root structure looks like, you get to make up the mental picture. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. You can bring in breath focus, deliberately taking a big inhale before saying the phrase. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. You can continue as you like with the mantra and or the mudra. Maybe your hands are tired, you can let go of the mudra. Maybe you're tired of the mantra too. Scan your body and compare this inventory of the moment to the one from a couple minutes ago. Have any of the sensations you noticed in your body before changed a bit? Anything shifted around? It's likely you may feel more grounded, but maybe that's not the case, and that's okay. Just noticing whatever is there to be noticed. Let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. If you've still got your eyes closed, you can open them now. Let your arms hang loosely at your sides. Lift your left shoulder towards your ear. Slide it back and let it down. Then your right shoulder up and back and down. Let your chin come down towards your chest. Slowly roll your left ear towards your shoulder. Let your head tip back. Continue over towards the other shoulder. Back down through center. Let the arms hang heavy. Let them be passive. Let the shoulders stay down. Sometimes when we direct our ear towards our shoulder, we also lift our shoulder towards our ear. Just try to let those shoulders hang out where they are. Keep going. And I'm going to come over here to mute someone. You can always unmute yourself if you need to ask me anything or tell me anything, but I noted the little unintentional background noise coming in. So feel free to unmute at any time. Right now, you're all muted, in case you didn't know that. But especially if something is unclear, especially if you can't hear me well, please let me know. Let's change the direction of these circles and do a few more. I, for one, think it's great when questions come up during class. There seems to be this unwritten rule that we have in our heads that the person leading the practice should do all the talking and everyone else should stay quiet. And I don't believe in it. I believe questions are great. And even for the sake of the video we're making here, maybe someone watching the recording later on would have the same question that you asked. When you finish the next circle, lift your chin and face forward. Rest your hands on your knees or your thighs, and just notice how that feels as it relates to grounding. Do you feel more grounded when you add a little pressure? Or more grounded when you let your arms be passive? What hand position feels more grounding? And then we'll do some seated cow and cat breaths. Inhale, draw your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, draw your heart back, let your head tip forward and down. Following the pace of your own breath. A few more rounds of cow cat. I'm remembering a funny discussion I just had as I was driving Yanni to work, and Kat came up. I fell out of bed in the middle of the night, and that hasn't happened in a long time. It's never happened to me here, and I've lived here almost a year and a half. So this particular bed, this particular room, it's the first time. Pausing my little story, let's make circles. Bring your heart over towards one side as you go forward, and to the other as you go back. So Yanni's commentary was that I did not land. Oh, she said, I didn't make a lot of sound when I landed. She said, it sounded like a cat. And I said, I did not land with the finesse of a cat, with an open hand on the ground. I banged the base of my pinky and the outside edge of my foot somehow. Don't know what happened. Nothing too dire. Some weirdness the body was doing in response to some crazy dream I can't even remember. Let's change direction. So grounding is not just something for practice. Grounding is always with us, unless we get the privilege of traveling to space, right? There's always some grounding contact. And you know, if you're sitting on the couch and your feet don't touch the floor, you're still grounded through the couch. If you're lying in the bed, you're grounded to the bed and the bed is grounded to the floor. And it doesn't even matter what floor you're on. You could be on a 30-story building lying in bed. You can still feel grounded. You can be in motion, walking or biking or running, and your grounding might shift a lot, but it's always there. After the next exhale, sit up tall, maybe reposition. I'm sitting on blocks, and as I made circles, the blocks were scooting away from me. My grounding became unstable. Reach your arms out to the sides and rest your fingertips on the floor, staying long in your spine. Inhale, lift your left arm up alongside your ear. Exhaling, let your arm hang over your head. And gently let the weight of your arm draw your head to the left. If you want, raise your right hand just a little and reach out through your fingertips. If your right hand is raised, let it down. Let your neck stay passive. Let your left hand slide across your head and come down to your cheek. And use your arm to nudge your head back to center. Yeah, and I just discovered that maneuver doesn't work well with a hairband on. We'll lose the hairband. Reach your right arm up alongside your ear and let your arm drape over your head. Draw your head gently to the right. And if you like, lift the left fingertips and extend out to your left. So I'll share, I was feeling a little ungrounded this morning because also as a consequence of that falling out of bed last night, I've got a new pain in my neck. And as some of you, maybe all of you know, I had surgery on my neck at the end of March. So of course, a new pain showing up is it's a little worrying. If your left hand is raised, let it down. Let your neck remain passive. Let your right hand slide across your head. Come down to your cheek. Nudge your head back to center. And let that hand down. So grounding is a good thing to focus on if you're worried about something, if you're stressed about something. Walk your left hand behind you. Bring your right hand to your left leg. Press your left hand to the floor. Press away from the floor and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Inhale. As you exhale, twist from the waist, working your way up, inviting your body with each exhale to go further if it wants to. Let yourself unwind, come through center, and continue. Bring your right hand behind you and your left hand across. Inhale, lengthen up, press away from the floor. Exhale, see about twisting a little more. Let yourself unwind, come through center. And take your time to make your way up onto your hands and knees. So check out your grounding here. Open your hands way up for maximum grounding. Feel the whole palm, the whole length of each finger, each thumb. Shoulders above elbows, above wrists. Or if that's too much on your wrists, your hands could be further forward like this. And the knees above the hips. And we'll play with a familiar sequence here with some extensions and a bind. And just notice how our grounding changes as we go through each step. Reach back and press into the ball of your right foot. So there's a little less grounding contact overall. We've lengthened our posture here. On an inhale, reach your left arm out to the side. Even less grounding. Feeling increased pressure on the points that are grounded. If you want to go further, pick your right foot up, reach straight back. More core engagement, less grounding. Fewer grounding points, but maybe more grounding in the spots that are still grounded. If you want, bend your knee, reach back, take hold of your foot or your ankle, lift your chin, lift your knee, kick against your hand. Release and lower down. Let's take a few cow and cat breaths before we do that the opposite way around. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, bring your heart up, let your head and tailbone come down. And just notice the little shifts in grounding energy as you flow through a couple more rounds like that. After your next exhale, come back through table. Reach back and press into the ball of your left foot. On the next inhale, reach your right arm to the side. On the next inhale, pick your left foot up and reach straight back. Bend your knee, reach back, take your bind, or you could reach back and maybe not take the bind. Release, lower down, and take those cow-cat breaths again. And then let's take child's pose, maybe the ultimate grounding posture. Bring your big toes to touch. If you like, open your knees wider, sit back towards your heels, reach your hands forward, or reach them back towards your feet if this doesn't feel good in your shoulder. Let your head come down to the floor or to something else if it doesn't want to reach the floor. You could stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. Put a block or another prop between the floor and your forehead. Aiming to let your neck be long but passive. Feel your contact with the ground, the shifting movements of your breath. Inhale, come forward and up, back through table. And we're going to take our time to step into a forward fold. You might use blocks under your hands here to ease the transition of stepping one foot forward and then the other. It's okay if it's not all one smooth step, or if your hands come to your legs to help the leg come forward. You could keep your blocks and lean on them. Let your hands hang in the air or drag on the ground. Don't lock your knees. Bend one
As you lengthen the other, alternate and sway back and forth, whatever degree of movement feels best for you. Passive neck, the weight of your head drawing down towards the ground. Gently shake your head now. And nod your head yes. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let your hands hang at your sides. Close your eyes. If it's comfortable for you, if you start to feel dizzy or too unsteady, open your eyes again. Just feel the grounding contact through your feet. And notice how it changes. With each breath, your body moves a little bit. There's a natural, gentle little swaying that comes with breathing as you stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Knees are soft, not locked. Allowing for that swaying. Notice that your body doesn't need instructions to stay upright. It knows what to do. There's this wonderful thing we have that some call the postural mechanism, the internal wisdom of your body. You could be standing in line somewhere, maybe nervous about an appointment, say, and you could maybe close your eyes and in your head say your grounding mantra. Go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and up overhead. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms up, then reach your palms up. Then look up at your hands, lift up your heart. Notice if the grounding in your feet changes. Inhale to bring yourself upright. Exhale to bend to the left. Feel the length of both arms. And try not to lift the right heel. Keep both feet pretty evenly grounded. Inhale to come up. Exhale, bend to your right. Inhale to come up. Exhale, let your arms down. Inhale, reach out and up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Rest your hands on the floor or on your blocks and step your left foot back for a runner's lunge. So if you feel a little too smushed here with your leg pressing to your torso, if you bring the ground closer to you, so to speak, or you can think of it as making your arms longer, give it a little more room to breathe, maybe a little more comfortable, like this. Feel the grounding in the ball of the back foot and the entire front foot. Can you feel the whole right foot, the heel, the ball of the foot, the toes, The arch, well, arches vary. Maybe you feel the middle part of your foot on the floor, maybe not. Either's okay. Try to feel all the toes, all the way across the ball of the foot and the whole heel. Now let's play with changing the grounding in the hands and getting in some twisting. Lean your weight into your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm out and up and look up towards your hand. And if it doesn't feel good to keep reaching up, sometimes we like to do a half bind like this, bend your arm, bring the back of your hand to your back. Exhale, bring that hand down. And let's try it the other way. Lean into your right hand. Inhale, reach your left arm out and up and look up towards your hand. This one is a little less steady. Don't tip over, just go as far as it's okay. And if you want, you can do that half bind. You can keep reaching up. Exhale, bring that hand back down to the floor or the block. Step your right foot back to meet your left, downward facing dog. Now you can keep blocks under your hands for downward facing dog, or you can bring your hands to the floor, whatever you like. Pedal your feet up and down. This is an interesting posture for grounding, because so much of the body is so far away from the ground. But we've got 4 points of contact, 2 hands, 2 feet. And the grounding energy shifts as you move around. We'll stay grounded through each shift. And we can use that strong grounding to lengthen the whole back of the body. So we do this wiggling around, this pedaling, feel into the tight spots and find some more length where you can. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, bring your feet up to your hands again. Now that transition is a place where blocks under the hands are a huge help. Much easier to step forward if you lengthen your arms here with the blocks, right? Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your arms. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down. Rest your hands on the floor of the blocks and step your right foot back. Find that stability in your runner's lunge. Find that grounding through the entire left foot and the ball of the right foot and both hands. Lean into your right hand. Inhale, reach your left arm out and up. And look up towards your hand. And you can keep reaching up or take the half bind if you like. With an exhale, bring your left hand back down to the block. Pause for a breath. Lean into your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm out and up. Look up towards your hand. If you want, take that half bind. On an exhale, bring your right hand back down. Leaning into both hands, step your left foot back to your right, downward dog. Take 3 cleansing breaths and make your way to child's pose. Just as you did before, vary your child's pose to suit your needs, to accommodate what's going on in your body. And scan that body. Check in with the ground, check in with your breath. If you like, you can use your mantra as you rest in child's pose. Inhale, come forward and up your table. Step up to forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out to the sides. Exhale, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself, or if it's in your practice, you can take eagle arms, intertwining your arms, pressing your hands together. And then, if you're in eagle, reach forward and up for your elbows and hands. Whether we're doing this or doing the hug, taking deep breaths into the space between the shoulder blades and noticing how does grounding feel in this bind, whichever bind you're doing. Maybe the body's swaying a little less than it did in Tadasana. Inhale, open up. Exhale, cross the opposite way. Inhale, open up. Exhale, twist to the left. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, twist to the right for a couple of breaths. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, arms down. I'm going to play with some balancing here. A couple of different poses. Well, one pose, maybe two. Let's put it that way. We're going to play with Warrior 3, and if you like, play with Half Moon. I'm going to use blocks. You're also welcome to step over within reach of a wall or a nice steady piece of furniture. So I think the gentlest way to come into Warrior 3 is with the blocks, standing up tall, shoulder width apart, knees nice and soft. I'm not straining my low back. So we're sort of squared off, but there are really no right angles in the body. We know this. So it's a forward fold with support. So feel your grounding. First, you have 4 points of grounding, both hands and both feet. And we're going to intentionally shift from 4 points to 3, and then maybe to 2. Shift weight into your right foot and out of your left foot. Still nicely grounded through both hands. Inhale, reach your left foot up, reach back to the sole of your foot. Picture your leg parallel to the ground, like you're going to make a footprint on the wall back there. Now, we might even play with just one point of grounding contact. You can decide. You could stay just like this. You can let your leg down and take a break and start over anytime. You might bring your right hand to your heart. You might bring both hands to your heart. You can always bring one of them or both of them back to the block. And if you're comfortable without supporting your hands on the blocks, you can try other positions like reaching back by your hips or out to the sides or out in front of you. Start over anytime. So maybe it's just grounding in the right foot. Maybe it's also the left hand. Maybe it's also the right. Maybe you take a break and let the left foot down. If you still got your left foot up, exhale, let it down. We're going to do that again and incorporate the option of half moon. So you can do whatever variations you want. You can join me in half moon if you want. And you're welcome to, if you want to play with half moon, come over, if your space allows, come over so your right hip is right by the wall, or right on the wall. Inhale, lift the left foot up. And the nice way to go to half moon from here is to bring the left hand to the hip when you're ready. And if you don't want to do half moon, just play with your warrior three. Use your hand to draw the hip up so your left hip is above your right hip. And then maybe you reach your left hand up. Now you can have both shoulder blades and both butt cheeks right on the wall, and that makes it a lot easier to be in this shape. I chose to do the more challenging way by stepping away from the wall. And you can come out of this anytime, return to your warrior three, or return to all 4 points of contact on the ground, both hands and both feet. It's hard to talk when you're doing this. See if you can come out slowly. Whatever control you can muster, there's strength in that control. Bringing the hand to the hip, square the hips to the floor, and bring the left hand back to the block. And let the left foot down, exhale. Let everything hang. Nod your head. Shake your head. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. This yogi needs some water before we do that again. Maybe even if you're in air conditioning, you need some water now. Maybe you thought grounding practice was going to be more chill than this. This time I am going to be against the wall. I know from long practice that my half moon on the left leg is less stable than on the right. So I'm stepping over here. I got my tall blocks. I got my left hip pressing firmly against the wall before I even come out of this starting box shape. And inhale, reach the right foot up and back. And play as you like with maybe the left hand at the heart, maybe the right hand as well, maybe other arm expressions. And you can go ahead to half moon now if you want. You can start over anytime. I did that wrong. I shouldn't peel my hip up when I didn't have my left hand supported. Let's start over. That was a very unstable transition I just accidentally made up. Grounding in left hand and left foot, right hand to hip. I peel the right hip above the left. So my right heel and left butt cheek are on the wall. Then I reach my hand up. Now both cheeks, both shoulder blades, right foot and right hand, and the back of the head are all connected with the wall. And it's okay if you don't have all those points of contact, just whatever parts of your body Want to rest on the wall if you're using the wall. Come out when you like or when you need with whatever control you can muster. And when you've had enough, exhale, let your foot down. Let everything down, real soft knees. 3 deep cleansing breaths. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Have a seat on your mat. Probably have a drink. You don't have to, but you can drink whatever you want. You all know that. Extend your legs forward and flex your feet back. Feel the grounding. From your heels all the way to your butt. Now, whatever parts of your legs touch down, it's okay. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. And let your knees bend as much as they want to. So maybe you have less grounding contact as your knees bend, but you can find some release in your lower back. Inhale, think of the crown of your head, easing forward a tiny bit. Exhale, think of lowering down a tiny bit. And just see what the action of your breath can do there. Inhale, walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit yourself up. Bring your hands behind you. Draw your knees up, plant your feet. Shift to come down onto your back. Take your time. Go gently. There's no rush. We'll all meet down here, setting up for a bridge pose with heels in close to your butt. If you like, place a block between your knees on the middle position. And don't waste a lot of energy squeezing that block, just enough gentle pressure to keep it there. It's just acting as a spacer. Sometimes without thinking about it, we expend energy there that we can use instead for grounding and heart opening. Pressing into your feet, inhale, lift your hips. If you want a deeper heart opener here, clasp your hands under you, extend your knuckles towards your heels, and wiggle your shoulder blades towards each other. Try not to scrunch up your neck, let your neck be passive, whether you're doing that bind I just described, or you're not doing the bind, as I'm not doing the bind. Keep breathing. If you are doing the bind, unclasp your hands. Exhale, slowly lower down. And float up and down a few breaths, a few times at your own pace. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. And when you're ready, you can make your way to supported bridge. Pause with your hips lifted. Put your other block at the base of your spine and come down to rest on it. So it's like that part of the ground is just higher than the rest. You're grounded in your feet. You're grounded in your sacrum, that bony plate at the base of your spine. Hands, elbows. Can you feel your shoulder blades on the ground? Back of your head. Press into your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up. Slide that block out from under you. Exhale, slowly lower down. And just pause, taking in this reconnection with the ground in your sacrum. Moving both blocks out of the way. Draw your knees towards your chest, hug your knees. Rock and roll, massage your back against the ground. Whatever movements you like, no matter how you move, you have grounding. Any posture, any movement, any activity, the ground is there for us. We'll take some twists here, and I'll give you some options. You could start with your feet on the floor. Cross your ankle over your knee for a gentle and energizing twist. Or cross your left knee over your right knee for a deeper twist. To be super gentle and simple, you could just draw both knees towards your chest, not cross your legs at all. Now, in any of those leg shapes, the closer your knees are to your torso, the deeper your twist will feel. So you decide how it's going to go. Reach your arms out to the sides with your palms facing up. Try to keep both shoulder blades grounded. Let your knees come over to the right and turn your head to the left. Not worrying about how far your legs go or how far your head goes. Let your breath wring you out. And you can always move your knees further from your torso or bring them closer or change the crossing of your legs if you find what you chose to start isn't working for you anymore. Change your minds, change the shape, change the feeling. Now really take your time to bring your head and your knees back to center. If your legs are crossed, you can cross them the opposite way. And when you're ready, let your legs go to the left and turn your head to the right. Bring everything back up to center. If your legs are crossed, uncross them. Knees in towards your chest. Point your feet up. Reach your hands up to grab your legs or your feet. Play with bending and straightening your arms and legs. Or inverting in any other way you want. Maybe there's an inversion you prefer to happy baby. You can invert for as long as you like. When you feel complete, make your way to your final resting pose. Any position that's comfortable for you. And maybe you choose a position based on grounding energy. So maybe lying flat doesn't feel good in your lower back. You can draw your knees up, plant your feet, point your heels out a little and your toes in a little. And support your lower back that way. You could bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees splay out to the sides. This also grounds in the lower back. You could have blocks here supporting your legs. I was going to demonstrate that, but I can't reach my blocks. You could do the classic Shavasana corpse pose, legs extended, feet splayed apart, hands out by the sides. Maybe you want to scoot over by the wall or the couch and rest your legs on the wall or the couch. It's also a nice way to ground your lower back and continue inverting in a passive way. Close your eyes if you like. Notice your breath. If you like, you can repeat your mantra a few times, either with your hands at rest or with the mudra. Peace fingers pressing or resting on the floor. Maybe scan your body, taking in each point of contact with the ground. Maybe just observing your breath. Maybe thinking ahead to what you have planned for today, how you might carry this concept, this energy of grounding into your day's activities. Ways to keep grounding in mind, ways to stay grounded no matter what you're doing. no matter how you're feeling or where your thoughts are taking you. Give yourself some deeper breaths. If you floated away, maybe refocus on grounding as you slowly start to move around bit by bit. Letting your movements grow bigger and bigger. Grounding contact shifting. Take your time. When you're ready to gently transition to a seated or kneeling position. Maybe the one you started in, maybe something else. If you like, bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for gathering to share and practice today. The light within me sees and bows to that same light within each of you. Namaste.
wonderful day. Stay grounded.